Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve the first million? And today we have Eddy join us for Belgium. So Eddy, tell us, in your opinion, what are the 5 steps to make the first million?
All right, 5 steps. 1, you have to be crystal clear about your passion. 2, when you have that clarity about your passion, that will give you a certain confidence. With that confidence, you are ready to do what you love, right? Number 4, if you do what you love, you get a lot of energy, and energy, that will lead to money. So these are the 5 steps. So I would really explain the steps one by one a little bit, because of course, when you say that, it says nothing, right? So what I mean about crystal clear is you have to know your why. You know, why are you doing something? That can be something simple like I want to provide for my family. I want to show something to my children. That can be very simple, very to the heart, but you need to have this why. You know, why am I doing this, right? Second in the clarity is you got to know yourself. The better you know yourself, the more you can focus on things that you really are good at and leave the rest to others. So knowing yourself is really a big thing. The third thing about clarity about your passion is don't let money lead you. You know, let your why lead you. Don't let money lead you. It will come. It will come. That's the 5th step, right? the money thing. And a lot of people mistaken their passion for finding a job. You know, having a job has nothing to do with a passion. It can be totally different things. So it is, most people are looking for, oh, which job do I want? Or which business do I want? Or do I want in real estate? Or what is this? No. If you have your passion, then it will become clear in which job you can do this passion. So everything starts with your passion. So that's really number 1. So now when you have this clarity, this is my passion, this I want to do, this I love, this gives you a lot of confidence. And confidence, you know, you need confidence to make money, to do everything. Confidence is so important. And the first step you will take when you have confidence, you will learn to value your own work. It's really important that you value yourself. You have a certain value, you give people something. And don't underestimate that. You are important, right? That's number 1 in that confidence. Now, the second thing in confidence is you learn to think long term. A lot of us, you know, we want a 90-day to a million scheme or scam. That's really not possible. You know, you gotta give yourself time.
Absolutely.
But when you have, yeah, right. But when you have confidence in yourself, then at some point you will give yourself time. So here again, confidence is very important. And this is a sentence I really love. Failure is success in progress. Right? I was a professional clown for a very long time. And in clowning, you know, the clown gets a success when he fails. You know, when he stumbles, when he falls, which is failing, his audience is laughing.
Oh, wow, amazing. That's really powerful.
Yeah. So he loves to fail. So he's constantly looking, how can I fail? How can I fail? How can I fail? And by failing, he gets a success. So the more you fail, that's the road to success, the more you fail. Right? So that's, you know,
that's an amazing metaphor and really practical. So Eddy, tell me a little bit more about this story, how you are a professional performer, so you have to be out there, and you know when there is sometimes it's tough because, you know, I always said sometimes I do motivational speeches and everything, and nobody, sometimes you ask yourself, okay, who motivates the motivator?
Good question.
Yeah.
Very good question.
So I think in your life as a performer, how you find this source of motivation or inspiration where what you're doing, which is amazing, yeah, is make people happy and make people laugh, make people to release that's this I don't know kind of segregation liquid that you have in the brain that that make you happy. Yeah, this
Yeah, for me it was always like you say, making people happy. That was my passion, right? It still is, and that's also the thing that pulled me through things. The times when I didn't have money or where I had when nothing worked, when I thought about giving up. The only thing then that it's going to save you is your passion. At that point, the money is not important, your car is not
absolutely.
important, your house is not important. It is really your passion that you need to have, and that's why that's also number one in my five things is you have to be really. It has to be so clear, your passion. Before it's clear, you can start, but that as soon as something happens and as soon as you get some counterwind, you say, oh no, I'm going to give up, or it's too hard, or I don't have the money, and all these excuses come up, right? But your passion will pull you through. It will. And for me, it has always done that. And the periods that I was in my less periods, in my down periods, let's say that, then I was doubting about my passion and didn't believe
Absolutely.
on my passion. But as soon as I realized, but okay, I'm doing this wrong here. This is the wrong way. I need to go back to where my passion is. I need to go back on stage. I need to make people happy. I need to perform. Yeah, and then the ideas come, okay, how are we going to do this? How we get money? How this and this and this and this? The energy comes from that. Everything. For me, everything starts with that. Yeah.
But then, Eddie, you went from a performance, and then your act take off and become really popular. Yeah. So, what was the key element that make you to have this big jump in your career? Do you think it was
Yeah.
persistence, trial and error?
Yeah. I think being in the process, I was constantly in the process. I wanted to be a clown, didn't know how, didn't know anything about clowning. Everyone thought I was really crazy because now I'm talking about the late 80s because there was no internet back
Oh,
then. Yeah, there was no internet back
so
then.
how
So
you learn how to do this thing?
see, so I've searched people, I looked for people, I read books, and slowly you come into a certain circle of people, right? And you have a certain level, but of course you want to go to the next level, and that means you have to read other books, you have to do courses, you have to meet other people until of course you come in the top level where the best people are. But you don't come there, that's not overnight. It takes you
Absolutely.
years to come there, and each step you take takes you closer to where you're gonna or where you wanna be. It could be following a course. It could be like me at some points performing for sick children. All these steps that you take, and I call it the swimming pool technique. You know what that is? When you're in the summer and you have your swimming pants on and you want to go to swim and you go to the pool, there are two ways to do it. Or you go feel in the water and go with one toe and the second foot and whoa, it's too cold, I go back. And the second thing is you just jump in.
That's what I do. I jump in.
That's
That's
what you have to do. That's what you have. If you don't do that as an entrepreneur, if you want to reach something, you will
it's
never get
painful. Yeah.
there because there will always something that holds you back. But when you jump, you can't go back. You're in the air and you you are going to go in the water. And yeah, it will be cold and it will be wet and it will be all these things. But then you're in the water. And once you're in the water, you can just as well swim because you are wet anyway. So and yeah, as you know too, that's the trick. That's just the trick. Jump. Don't think too much. Jump. And once you have jumped, you'll figure it out because I really strongly believe that people don't dream about what they can't do. You have a dream, you have a passion, so that means you can do it.
Can do it. Yeah.
You only need to jump. That's the only thing you need to do.
But where do you find the motivation? Back like you say, but in the
Yeah.
80s, there is no internet, where very little people, and like starting all the business. Yeah. every entrepreneur that started any business, at the beginning, nobody knows you.
Nobody knows.
So the people, you're gonna have your first client, they want to pay you very little money, or they don't want to
Yeah.
pay you, and then
Yeah.
you have your supplier that want to sell you all these outfits very expensive because or you pay me all this money, so then you need to pay all this money for all this outfit and everything. You need to pay for this, and then the client want to pay you very little, and that's the normal nature of everybody starting any business.
Yeah.
And then you have all these negative emotion, all these negative things, and
Yeah.
then but you have to take this on board, keep it, and then go out there and perform and make people laugh when maybe you're feeling inside like, I'm working so hard for this, and yeah, clearly it's working for them because they're laughing, but I'm going through a lot of pain into the process to build my business. So how you manage to canalize all these all these normal negative things that happen to any entrepreneur when they build in the business, but especially you, it's a little bit worse because you have to go out there and smile in front of hundreds of people when you don't feel like smiling. You are tired. People don't they don't recognize your work. You are starting, and you don't have no one to look up because you know very little people and there is no internet. So where do you find the strength? Do you
I
have
think,
any friend, any
yeah,
book?
yeah. So passion is one, and I think the other thing really is a friend or maybe your spouse or partner or somebody who really understands what you are doing. Somebody who doesn't say you're crazy, it's not going to work. Somebody is really behind you and means it, and also
Who
means it.
was behind you?
A few friends were behind me that I still have. They are still very good friends until that day.
In the same business or nothing to do with the business?
Nothing to do with the business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nothing to do
Amazing.
with
They
the
are very good
business.
friends.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But you can count them on one hand, your good friends. I think
I,
everybody has maximum five. I have two or three, and that's it. And there was always this like I had them. We went for a drink. We talked. You could cry, right? You could say, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do anymore. I'm fed up with this. Um, I don't find people. I don't have the right people." And just talking to them and just laying it out loud.
you release the
Release, right? Also, admitting your failures, right? On social media too, it's all wow, and everybody
I
is
agree with you.
happy and has
I
big
agree with you
houses and
100%.
drives Ferraris, but you never see the other side, right? It's a little bit like performing. You see the performer, and like you said, he's smiling, he's happy, but you never see the other side. I told a story yesterday to somebody. When you are, in my case, a performer, it's a very lonely life, right? In the morning you get up, you drive, you go and put your stuff in your car, you drive a few hours, you come to the place you need to perform. You see one or two people, you say, oh yeah, you need to be there. You want to drink something, it's there. Here's your food. Okay, you get ready. Yeah, and then at some point, oh, you ready? Yeah, yeah, ready. Okay, the curtain goes open. You do your thing.
Yeah,
Right? People laugh. You wow, 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 wow. Curtain goes back closed, and there you're alone. When you're lucky,
I
somebody
understand you
comes behind the
100%.
curtain and says, "Oh, it was really nice. Why is that?" When you're lucky, right? But most of the time, it closes. People go home. They are satisfied. Blah blah blah. You go to the organizer. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye. See you next time. And you drive home alone, right? And that you do. Sometimes I did that 20 days in a row, and it's a really, really, really lonely life at some point.
I'm painful, Eddie. I remember, I'm kind of a performer, so I understand you 100%
Oh yeah, yeah.
because we do talks. I also have a music band as a hobby, so we perform and we play music for a lot of people, and we do these talks, this motivation speaking talk, which is a performance. Like we have to perform. That's why I
Yeah.
always dress very colorful like this because I'm
Beautiful.
a mix between an entrepreneur and a performer. Because when I'm speaking on the stage, I
Yeah,
have to perform. It's not only just go and talk about entrepreneurship. It's an act. You have to
absolutely.
perform. You need to know the stage. You need to know what words you're gonna use. You have to be able to read the crowd. You have to we have to don't put in the way whatever we want to say. We need to make sure that we take to the audience whatever they want to hear, and for that we have to be present. What happened in the audience? They taking the phone, they're not taking. Go down, talk to them, making a joke. Yeah, I use a lot of jokes to keep the audience engaged, because when they're laughing, they pay attention. So time to time, repeatedly, I'll. Is my conference sometimes is like a little bit like a stand-up comedy. They laugh.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
laugh on purpose. Guess what? They pay a lot of attention because because they're looking for the next job. Now they can absorb the content.
yeah.
But Eddie, I remember this happened to me. And it's a true story that one of my most loved family member died,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to go and perform next day.
Yeah,
And I feel I'm devastated,
yeah,
and I'm about to cancel the whole thing.
mm-hmm.
And I don't know from where I found the strength to go there and to deliver, but this is our life as a performance. We cannot let the audience down. We choose to do this job,
Mm-hmm.
and it come it come this with the package, but it's really hard. It's really, really difficult. So
Yeah.
how do you manage when you have to perform, but really, I don't know, something happened in your life that you really feel that that you don't find the strength to go and do it because
Yeah.
you are emotionally sad. Maybe a friend is ill, or someone that is close friends of you, I don't know, gets ill or have a
Uh,
problem or something like that.
I think for
So
one,
how do you manage
yeah,
to deal with that? Because it's really hard. I know because of my own experience. Yeah.
yeah. You said also a very good part is that the show must go on, right? You can't let people down because they pay, or not paid, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. They are there, they spend your time. And for me, it was always the love for the trade. Clowning is it's traits. It's like you say, like when you're in front of an audience, it's a trait. Not everybody can do it. There are a lot of techniques you need to
Yeah.
have. Humor, it's like you says, it's reading the public. It's your speech. It's your mic technique. It's it's your posture. It's everything.
A lot goes into this. A lot.
Yes, it's a trait. And I loved the trait of being a clown. That's also, it's not only on stage or but on top of that, there's the trait of clowning, which is so beautiful and which not many people really, really have in their fingers. A lot of people think they are clowns and they think they know what to do because they're on Slavs, but the real clown is something delicate, is something. I'm very passionate about it, and I love my trade so much that the trade puts you through. Also, when I did hospital, when I visited these children,
Wow.
sometimes they had literally just a few days to live.
Wow.
Yeah, then the
It's
only
hard.
thing that, yeah, it's hard, but the only thing that pulls you through is this trade, is this clowning. You're not Eddie Smits when you're going into that room. You're a clown. I'm clown. My name was Fabus back then. Then I'm that clown that goes into the room, not Eddie. Eddie has a headache. Eddie's friend just had an accident. Eddie's mother is sick. Eddie's dog just died, but not the clown. And that's how I did it, and how I could do it, really. Yeah.
Yeah, very difficult to disattach and to get into the character. The other thing, Eddie, that is very challenging is to when you have the audience, specifically the audience that come to see you, you need to make to laugh everyone, the kids and
Yeah.
the parents, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the kids they are respond to a certain type of jokes and performance, yeah, but the parents are completely different, right? So to address a performance that keep the whole audience laughing is sound to me more complex, extremely difficult because, like I said, you need to work on
Yeah.
your script, you need to work in your movement, you need to work in the makeup. You have to. So how you learn to write those scripts and to prepare the performance? There was somebody helping you, trial and error.
It's purely trial and error. I did things,
Like I always said, the more you try, the better you
yeah.
become. Yeah?
When if I started, I knew nothing, and somebody taped one of my first show taped. I don't have the tape anymore because then it was like VHS and stuff, so that was old school. Um, but 5 years after my first performance I ever did, I saw that tape 5 years later, and I was ashamed. I was really ashamed. I said, "Oh my God, did I really do this?" But it's okay. I always say people,
Yeah, you're learning.
it's okay, you're learning, and uh, whatever level you are, there are always people who will find it okay and who will find it amusing and who will find it's always, you'll find people that's okay. And you learn so much, in my first shows, and nobody was laughing during 10 minutes. Then you say, okay, my jokes don't work. I need to have jokes. I need to do other things. Okay, what can I do? Oh, maybe I can do more non-verbal things because I was talking all the time, talking. Oh, no. Wait, now I didn't talk, and something fell by accident and everyone was laughing. That's a good thing. Let's put that in the next show. And the next show, something fell deliberately, of course. And I was like, okay, that's how it works, right? And I remember myself being in front of a mirror for hours and just making faces. Okay, if I do this, my face does that. Learning about my own face. Because you don't know your own face. Nobody does.
Absolutely.
You never see yourself. You
You don't
never see
see yourself.
yourself. You never see yourself. So I was in front of the mirror making funny faces and things. And then I knew what I was doing on stage. And yeah, and from one came another, and you learn. And I remember that in the beginning, my show was like 2 hours, and in the end of my career, it was 40 minutes because
Wow.
yeah, all the things you leave, and you take the really good
The
stuff,
essence.
and and take other things with it, and everything that's not good, you go out, you do better, and so it evolves constantly. I think I did from one show about 1,000 performances, and if you see the beginning and the end, they are a totally different show. And
Wow.
but in between, you are in front of audiences, and you do and you do and you perform. But you learn so much. And the nice thing is, once you have one show going, you know all the principles. You know what to do to make them laugh. You know that you have to take pauses. You know how to put like music into the things, just change things
Leave
up.
the audience.
Right? You know how to do this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you
to change the
let it, yeah,
emotions
let
of
it
the
go a little bit,
audience.
and you go at the end. You go full out, but you know that because you have experienced that all.
Absolutely.
And that's what I also tell to younger people. You have to do the mileage. You have to do it. You can't learn to swim by reading a book. You have to go
Absolutely.
into the
100%.
water. Go into the water, and yeah, you will be bad. And yeah, some people will say, "Oh my God, he's so bad." Yeah, that's all going to happen. But that's the process, and you have to love the process. You have to love to work on yourself. You have to go and search for the other thing. What can I do? Oh, maybe I can put some magic in it. Okay, you try out magic, and then you learn. Magic is not my thing. Damn it. It's too hard. I can't. It's not my thing. Oh, hey, this is nice. Balloons. Yeah, let's put some balloons in. Oh, I like balloons. Oh, this is nice. Wow, children love balloons, etc., etc., etc.
I think,
And
Eddie, that the most important thing and the lesson that we have for the entrepreneurs listening is something, well, two things. Yeah, I find really powerful the metaphor that, when you fail, people laugh. So when you fail, you actually leading the path to succeed. But the second one, what you described to me, is like you didn't let your ego dominate your career. Yeah, you went there to the public and you thought that, okay, this is what I think is funny and this is what I'm gonna do. But when it was not working, you have the ability to drop your ego and pay attention to the audience. Yeah, and
absolutely.
something fell by accident, but you know what? They laugh, but you saw that they're laughing about this, and you decided that, okay, it's not about what I think they want, that I have to do what they we laugh. So I'm not gonna put in a way. Same thing with my performance. I always say, don't put in a way what you want to say. Read the audience and tell them what they want to hear. And sometimes when I do conference, Eddie, and I need to go to perform, sometimes I have the PowerPoint and I have everything ready. And as soon as I start to speak, then I ask questions to the audience. Sometimes the PowerPoint never show up in the whole talk. Yeah. And the promoter is telling me, why you didn't put the PowerPoint? I'm saying, no, don't worry, I didn't need it. But the truth is, they didn't want, by the minute number 2, I knew that whatever I have prepared, they don't care. And in the performance,
and they don't know. They don't know. So they don't know what you prepared.
exactly,
So
don't know what is there,
blank
So
sheet.
they don't even know that, only the promoter knew that I have PowerPoint because they asked me, please give me a PowerPoint. So we need to put in the computer, we need to put in things. But the public never, exactly, the public doesn't know what the thing is good about. So the ability as us as performers, which is the same with the entrepreneurs, we have the issue with the entrepreneurs that they develop a product, okay? And now they're taking the product to the market, and because of ego, because of they put a lot of effort into this, because they remortgage the house and spend all the money creating this product. But now when they take the product to the market needs something else. And entrepreneurs out there finding very challenging to pivot whatever product they thought that is going to work into actually whatever the public, the market's going to buy. In the same way, the metaphor for you are preparing your act, and you say, okay, this is my product, and it's gonna be, this is what it's gonna work, and they're gonna laugh. But then now you're on a stage after 10 minutes and nobody's laughing, and you are like, wow, what am I gonna do?
I love
Are you
what you're
gonna blame
saying.
the audience? Are you gonna say that they are boring people, that they don't have sense of,
Beautiful.
or
It's
you're
so
gonna look
beautiful.
at yourself and you're gonna say, you know what? Let me see what they want, and something happened by accident. They start to laugh, and then you start to find the direction. Then one day you broke a balloon by accident, and everybody went crazy about the balloon, and you say, wow, the balloons are working. And then, so reading the audience, and reading with audience meaning market, be able to adapt to the market, be able to adapt to the audience, is what actually is gonna make you successful. But what advice do you have for entrepreneurs out there that they are very rigid in the product, in the creation, and for a mindset, for ego, for a number of reasons, they get so attached to the initial product that they are not able to read the market, they are not able to read what their clients want, and they are reluctant to improve and modify the product, and make them not the product that they want to sell, rather create a product that the people want to buy. And exactly same with your act.
It's beautiful what you're saying.
That you want to sell, you create an act that the public will enjoy, and you do whatever it took to make that happen. So it's a lot of correlation with the entrepreneur.
Beautiful. It's exactly the same. I also trained a lot of clowns to go in hospitals, and the first thing I said to them: listen, here when you go in the room, it's not about you. It's about the child. It's not about you. And they had this bag full of magic tricks and whatever in this bag. And then I told them, leave the bag outside. And they say, my balloons are in there, my magic tricks are in there, everything is in there to perform for the child. So then my answer was, you don't know what the child wants.
Absolutely.
You don't know what it wants. Maybe it's afraid of balloons. There are children that are afraid of balloons. Maybe it doesn't like magic tricks. Maybe it is in pain and it doesn't like anything, right? So leave the bag out.
Wow, Eddie, that's very powerful.
Go in, look. First, don't say anything. Don't do anything. Look around. What's going on? Is the mother there? Is the father there? Is the child crying? Is it sleeping? Etc. Etc. And once you absorb everything, then start doing something. Before that, it's no use. It's no use.
So how do you learn, Eddie, that, or what techniques you use to experiment? Because I'm telling you by my own experience, because I have done this a lot as well. Like sometimes, when I have with an audience, I prepare something, and I put it out there to see if it works. Yeah, sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, like now after I perform and I do these talks, a lot of people come to me and say, "Harry, you're amazing. This speech was amazing. I'm so inspired. That was amazing, man. You're the best." And I'm thinking, man, well, you don't know if I've done this thousands of times. And you have this experience because you didn't see me the first time that I did. You think that I'm good
Exactly.
or that I'm amazing, but I'm not amazing. I've done it so many times, and
You
I
are
try
amazing.
with the
You
audience.
are
So
amazing because it is your, it's your zone of, I call it a zone of genius. You have your zone of genius. I have your zone of genius. And so once you are in that zone of genius,
absolutely,
then you're out there and then you do things. But for you, it's not special. I mean, if I'm in a crowd and in the beginning I was uncomfortable. If people came into me, oh, that's so great. I was uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable. I said, yeah, okay, okay, okay. But now I say, okay, thank you, because they mean it. But it's in your zone of genius. So what you are doing there, of course you trained and of course you did a lot of things, but because you liked it and because you loved it, and at some point you learn, oh, I'm actually rather good in this. I like it. I'm good in this. Okay, let's. But and the problem with the zone of genius is that most of the time you're also afraid to ask money for it because, oh, you love it. You love to do it.
absolutely,
And
100%.
a lot of artists have that problem, they
Yeah,
are really good at what they're doing. And then if the client asks, okay, what's this gonna cost? Oh, oh, it's okay. Oh, instead of just saying, okay, this is my price.
because they
Like,
had to
well,
live. Yeah, you
yeah,
provide the value to society,
of course.
and also like the other way around, right, Eddie? Like for example, when I see musicians playing in the metro, the whatever, I
Mhm.
always give them money. Why? Because I want to support what they're doing. I
Yeah.
want them to keep playing the music, so that's why I leave this money to the people that are singing on the street and so on. I want that the music to keep going. So it's the same with the performance with the artists, yeah. That the client pay you that have nothing to do with you. It's
Yeah.
just a form of the client to support what you're doing and to give you support so you can do more.
Yeah.
But then the thing is that when I surrendered my ego, yeah, when I decided that uh, doing this performance is not about me, yeah, it's
Mhm.
about the public, yeah, and
Mhm.
sometimes the promoters they get a little bit upset with us, because sometimes they tell me and Lily, my partner Lily, we do talks all over the world, and
Mhm.
sometimes they told us, no, you're gonna be speaking at the university, and we are asking the person. But the university, but okay, are they from first years to the fifth years? Are they boys or girls? Are they studying engineering or law? And we asking all these gazillion questions about the audience, and the promoters are like, like Harry, come on, man, give me along. I told you we're going to university. When, and especially in Latin America, we find out all our answers when we arrive there. When we speak in Dubai or in Singapore, the promoters are uh more kind, and they feed us as much information we have. But we want to know everything about this audience
Of course.
before we arrive there, because it's not about us, it's about them. And the more we know about this audience,
Absolutely.
the more we can serve this audience
Absolutely.
and give them exactly what they really need and what they really
Yeah.
wanted to hear. But also, like you said, you thought, okay, I'm gonna try this and let's see if it works. Yes, it takes a lot of courage, because I do it, I've done it, and it's nobody knows that you're trying something out. Yeah, only you, not even the promoter. Yeah, and you have 100 people, 200 people, 500 people.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a joke, yeah, and nobody laugh. That happened to me. Oh my God,
And
and
then
nobody
the
laugh.
sweat
And
is coming there. No, no,
yeah,
they're not laughing.
and I had to get out quickly and say, "Oh my God, that was a very bad idea." But eventually, developing this skill, Eddie, you become better and better and better, and
Yeah.
to the point that different audiences you already know by arriving to the place. Um, what actually is gonna work best for this audience, and the stages are different. Exactly like you said, it's not the same to speak. I don't know, in an arena or in a, we can call it a circus. Completely different to perform in the hospital. Completely different ball game. Completely different energy. Completely different type of performance.
Yeah.
And it's not about do the same act everywhere and that's it. It doesn't
Simple.
really work like that. It's more complex than that to read in the audience.
Yeah.
So what happened in your brain which is something as an entrepreneur when you have the product, same thing. You are developing new features. You try one feature and you put it out there and people didn't care. So you say, well, you know what? This feature, let me take it out. So when you decided that it's gonna be a very good idea to improve your show, to improve your product, yeah. But also the only way to improve it is to do a small test. And I know that it's very difficult because you have a script, you have makeup, you have to perform, and on top of that, you're running a test to see if it works or not. And only you have to be able to run this test, read the audience, see how it works, and continue with your act like nothing happened. And sounds easy, but I done it and it's challenging. Yeah.
It's even more than that, and I think that's something that's also for entrepreneurs. At some point I started to perform a lot in schools. Of course, now that's where the
Mhm.
children are, right? Um, and in the beginning, I had all this stuff with me and all these things, and then you had to carry this so much, and oh, it was so heavy. My truck was full, and then you start to no, then you start to think, then the brain is going to, and then there are a few things that even outside the performances, okay, I want to get rid of this carrying. I carry like an hour for before everything is in, and then I have to put everything up. And then you start really crafting things, and you say, okay, wait a minute. I need the less material if I perform for little children because they have a lot of fantasy, they have a lot of imagination. You don't need decor,
Absolutely.
you don't need things. So okay, that's
Absolutely.
fun. So that's how I get rid of the carrying and that's that. Okay, then okay, I wanna when I come in, I don't want to be an hour in a to build everything up because in school sometimes you come
Time is short.
at a place and there's still something going on in the place where you need to perform.
After.
So it has to be set up in like 15-20 minutes. And again,
Mhm.
your brain goes, how can I do that? And so and that's, you walk and you walk and you puzzle and you puzzle. And then at some point you have something that you come into school, you put it up in 10-15 minutes, you play, no carrying around, back in your car and do the next one. And I think that's a good thing that entrepreneurs also need to do. Like, okay,
100%.
how do we fit this in? How can we make our life easy? And in the meantime, also do our clients a favor because schools, they if you were there, they were a little embarrassed. Okay, there's still something going on. Sorry, you can't. Yeah, but I need this time to put everything on. Yeah, but then we are going to come too late, and then the kids
The
have
event is
to
gonna
eat.
run late and things. Exactly.
Right. So it's all, and as you say, it's all in function of your client, but also in function of yourself, because in the end, you don't need to carry this much stuff anymore. And I remember, oh my God, I had like a truckload full of flight cases and stuff that if I think back on it, I get tired just thinking back of it, how much we carried, right? And I remember when my dad was younger, he came with me just to carry stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's that is entrepreneurship. For me, that's entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. It's
And
calibrating your product, seeing
yeah,
the audience, getting more efficient. Yeah.
right, getting
Uh,
efficient. How can we, if I invest something, let us be smart. I invested in something which was not cheap, which was a background, a black background, but it was just like this spider roll, just whipped it up, and then in a few minutes, hop, you had a nice clear background.
oh,
Yeah, all these things. That's
it
also
was light, right? It was
it was
light,
very light. It was
very
aluminum. It was in a just a bag, a sporting bag where you used to go play tennis. It was not bigger than that, and then you folded it open, and it was a really
and
nice.
created an amazing stage, yeah, with
It was
the
a stage.
black
You
background,
created a stage, and all these things together.
backdrop, yeah.
The backdrop. It was a backdrop. Okay, that was money, but you save so much energy, you save so much time, and also what you do is you look professional to your audience, right? You came up,
Absolutely.
and teachers were like, "Oh wow, that's cool." You
And
were
you
always
set up you
already
set up your
impressing.
sets in 15 minutes and you start to perform, and the people are like, wow,
How does he do that?
how he do that so fast?
Yeah,
How come everybody's laughing,
yeah,
and you don't need a gazillion things? It's all about
right.
creativity
Right,
and
right, and you invest in good things, in speakers that are good, that children can
absolutely
hear
that the
everything.
music can hear, yeah.
It costs some money, of course, but then you give them something, and that was also my point. Always give, 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 give. You give, and you keep on giving, and at some point you'll get back. You'll get it back at some point. So yeah, it's figuring things out. It's letting your brain work. It's all these things, and at some point you create a product that's unique that nobody has, and then
Wow.
you're there. And then yeah,
Then success is coming, yeah.
then success is coming, and then also the last part, number five, then the money is also coming. But before that, it's not coming. Trust me.
Oh, tell me about it. But Eddie, one of the biggest um, ways to keep the audience engaged is about storytelling, right? It's about learning how to tell a story, because when you tell a story, when we are kids, when before we go to bed, we tell stories, and when we tell stories, especially performing in front of Chris, it's not only about laughing, it's always make a story that they have a point of the story that can also learn something. So now the thing becomes even more complex, because now you have to become a great storyteller. And so how you realize that telling stories was a big part to keep this audience engaged, and to
Yeah.
because you tell them stories, everybody's paying attention, because everybody paying attention when you make the joke, everybody's laughing because they're all paying attention, they're immersed inside this story. So when do you realize that in order to perform to the highest level, you have to become a great storyteller, sometimes even without even speaking, no? Because
Yeah,
so at which point in your career you realize that it was something really, really important that you have to master?
yeah. For me, I always loved movies, even as a kid, and when I grew older, I think in my begin 20s, I watched one or two movies every day, even.
I love movies also.
Yeah.
A big fan.
And
Okay.
when you love movies, then at some point, and it's not that I was looking for it, but at some point you learn, hey, that's a good movie. But why is that a good movie? Okay,
Because
yeah,
it's a good story, huh?
story, right? And it has a oh, you didn't expect this, and it has
Yeah.
good characters, right? And by watching these movies, I remember that I wrote screenplays, and some colleagues said, "But where did you get that? Where did you get?" I wrote it. No, you didn't write it. Yes, I wrote it, really. But how can you never the lessons? You did never told somebody never told you how to write a script. So yeah, but I watched so many movies that I know that the good movies I know how they are made, and and the characters have to be very strong. There has to be humor in it, etc., etc.
That
So
have to be different
it
emotions.
has to be
The
different. It has to be
movies,
has to be
the good movies, the movie,
yeah, it has to be
it's
silent,
not
and
straight.
the music has to sub sometimes. That it is
Yeah, and silence and tension,
silent.
and then happiness, and then sadness, and then people cry. Like, when sometimes people say, wow, this movie is amazing. And then you tell all your friends, man, you need to see this movie.
Yeah.
And this movie is amazing. And but what is actually exactly what you said behind that movie that make it so incredible? You tell all your friends is the story.
Story.
That is a very good story behind. But what is a very good story is exactly what you describe it. It's the story that make you laugh, that make you cry, that make you happy at some point, and then you are in stress, then you are in silence, you are you don't know what is going to happen, but then something happened and you're happy again, and then
Feeling. It's
you're
a
happy
feeling.
about the
Emotions.
character and accident happened and now you're sad again. So it's all that changes the emotion and the unexpected.
Emotions. It's all about emotions. How does the characters feel? How does the character make you feel? Um, and I learned that by watching. I realized it afterwards. At the time, you just move movies, and you think, oh, that's a good one. That's not. But this character I love. But yeah, when I start writing my own scripts, yeah, then at some point I used like it's not that I copied things, but I used the way movies were made and how they were made, and first you introduce the character, then you build something, then something happens, then something unexpected happens, etc., etc., etc.
But
And
then
that's
in the performance, that is the same thing. You actually have to have story because you cannot make laugh the audience straight
oh,
away for it will become actually boring, right?
yeah,
You have
yeah.
to
And
they
in my
had to
case,
laugh, they had
yeah.
to think, they had to go a little bit quiet, then they high up again, so you have to move the emotion. So
Yeah, and in my case, when you work with children, then
oh
you
my
work
God,
towards a happy ending, of course, right? And that's very important. They want to be happy at the end, and everything is going bad, but at
you
the end,
have to
everything has to be right again, right?
absolutely
For the
you have to
kids.
build this emotion at the beginning
Yeah,
so they go to the oh something is wrong and everything, but at the end you have the happy ending, so they have
yeah,
this emotion and really really difficult to write stories especially for children because
it
they
is.
they life span of attention is really short.
It is really
It's
short.
huge. It's
And when I
very
started,
challenging to keep them
yeah,
quiet, yeah.
when I started, it was even doable, but now it's so short. They click after 3 seconds. They click. They couldn't do that in the 80s, right? There were no computers. But now, but the funny thing is, um, when you go back to basics, back to theater, back to clowning,
Mhm.
you've got them. Even with all the flashy things.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah, yeah. If you
It's how
back
you
to
use the
basics,
stage, Eddie. No, it's a
yeah,
combination. How you use the stage, the story, how you perform, the makeup.
back to
Use
basics.
a lot of the basics. Yeah,
And don't use too much. Don't just keep it basically simple. That's also my motto. That's the motto of a clown, right? He has the power to make difficult things really simple. That's his power. But that's a superpower if you can make.
absolutely.
And also, if you're a leader or an entrepreneur and you can explain difficult things in a simple way at people, you have them. They
Well,
understand you.
look at the
Once
Steve
they understand
Jobs.
you, they will
Look,
follow you, and
look,
they will get it, right?
look Apple. Steve Jobs always said, I would say, that the most complex in life is to make something really difficult, simple,
Yeah,
and easy to use for. And he built a multi-million billion pound company out
yeah,
of
yeah,
this concept, how to make things difficult, simple for people to understand and to use. Yeah.
absolutely.
Eddie, this conversation will be fantastic. You made my day today. I'm so happy to meet you. You're really, really powerful. And I congratulate you and I admire you for your career as a fellow performer because like I said, the people don't understand who motivates the motivator or who may laugh the clown. Yeah, the clown make
Yeah,
laugh everybody, but who's gonna
yeah,
make the clown laugh?
absolutely.
Nobody never even think about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's a very rewarding job, especially when you see that the audience is clapping when they are happy. I mean, it's kind of addictive feeling. It's very
it
addictive.
is. It
It's
is.
very addictive. I know, and I think that's the reason why I do these talks. They're really, really addictive. You can see the eyes of the people shine. You can see the happiness. You can see that actually You
get
do
energy, right?
something
Get
that
energy.
raise their
Yeah,
energy and they can go happy home. And this feeling is priceless, very fulfilling. Yeah.
absolutely.
And I think our performer, this is what we love about this job. Yeah. But again, he got all the principles as an entrepreneur, right? You
Yeah,
have a
absolutely.
lot of lesson to learn about this because um the to be a performance, especially because you have to break the first big issue, which is performing in front of strangers. Yes, when we all have our kids, yeah, our parents are telling us, "Don't talk to strangers. Talking to strangers is bad."
Yeah.
And then you're making a career about talking to
Yeah.
strangers, so you have to to public speaking, and this performance is the biggest fear that human being can have, right? It's
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
unconscious. Yeah. So Eddie, very briefly, do you have a fear of performing in public? How you become this fear, or you were naturally
Yeah, I never had a fear. I always loved it. I always loved
you're a people person, right?
even as a child, I loved it. I am
Maybe your
that
parents
nervous.
never told you this. Maybe your parents with you, and when they see you speaking with strangers, maybe they
Mm,
were next to you, but they never maybe told you
I
off.
think I think
You
I think I
didn't
have
build
it.
this lack of
Yeah, I think I
confidence.
have it a little bit from my mother. She also loved performing. She was in a choir. She loved
Very
singing.
good.
So I saw that there. So I always loved being on stage. I always loved doing stuff for people. So yeah, that's what in point one, know exactly, be crystal clear about what your passion is,
Mhm.
and the rest will follow. I assure you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Eddie, if someone is in love with our conversation and at any level, the entrepreneurs that they want to perform and speak on stage, I think that so a lot of people that we train, right? They go to a stage and they're going to present the product and they need to address the audience, right?
Yeah.
And then they talk about the product and it's so boring that nobody buys into the idea, nobody buys into the product, and people what they are just looking at the phone and oh my god, when this guy's gonna
Mhm.
stop talking, right? And a lot of skills come into place. You have to be able to perform, you have to be able to tell a story to the audience, to persuade this audience to buy into your idea, which is something that you did all your life. You are persuading that audience to buy into your jokes, right? In a creative way, so they actually produce the outcome and laugh. Yeah. So in the same way, the entrepreneur have a product, they have to be able to persuade that audience so the audience can buy the product. Now, in order to do that, it's not about you go and go onto the stage and speak. It doesn't work like this. You have to be able to perform, to know how to use the stage, to know how to change that emotions, to tell this story that you actually can make the crowd and love with your product or whatever you say. And sense of humor, I'm telling you, is a big part because I use it and it works like magic.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And people say I love the talk of Harry a lot, and then when you ask them why, they say I don't know, but this guy is amazing. Yeah. And it's because we use all those elements. We use humor, we use
Yeah.
storytelling, we use a lot of techniques. We use the stage a lot. I move a lot on the stage to make sure everybody's engaged. I jump out of the stage and go close to people. I touch them. I go back, and all these interactions. You keep the whole audience 100% engaged in what you're doing,
Yeah.
because that's the same thing what you're saying, right? When was the last time that you bought something that you didn't understand? So you have to be able to understand what's going on. For that, you have to pay attention in the same way of you, yeah. In order for them to laugh, they have to be paying attention what you're doing. If they
Of
don't pay
course.
attention, they're not gonna laugh. So you need 100% these people for the length of the performance, 40 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. You need
Yeah.
them 100%, all of them paying attention to you at all time. And the entrepreneurs have this skill, and they go in front of the audiences, and they can sell the product to every single body, and they can become really wealthy, and they can be invited to speak more in public, um, in more stages. So again, if some of the entrepreneurs listening want to learn more about how to perform and how to persuade an audience and how to get the desired outcome of the audience, something that now for our conversation, I know that you have a really, really deep understanding and a lot of years of experience. Even to me, I'm sure that you can teach me a couple of things. So, Eddie, how people can find you, how the process works? Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, sure. Easiest thing is just go to my website, eddysmits.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn and open a chat. Let's chat and ask me what you need. I'm always very open and straight. If I can't help you, I will be very honest and say can't help you. And if I can, then we talk some further and we'll take it from there. It's the same as a hospital clown. He comes into the room, sees what's going on, and then okay, let's see if we can do something together. I love to be on a stage, so I always say to organizers, is there some topic that you want in your conference and that
Absolutely.
there is not there? And if not, I can bring it to you, whatever it is. And that's the plunge I take, right?
Because you're a
That's the
performer,
challenge.
professional
That's the
performer.
challenge I take. But okay, that's what I want to do then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just
Also, Eddie, for corporate, for team building, performance of to when we do a lot of corporate training in companies, to help them how to sell or how to grow the teams or how to change position, whatever the outcome the CEO asks us to do, we do these corporate trainings, yeah. And I think when people are laughing and when we perform in this corporate training, the clowning is a very powerful way to
oh
empower
yeah,
team building and
it's
because you can
scientifically
actually
proven.
play games
It's
with
scientifically proven that if we laugh at something, we take
absolutely.
7 times more of it than if you just tell it to somebody. So it's all proven,
And
it's
when you play games, when you're playing games with them and they're having fun, we are when we go to the corporate and all the employees, we always do games with them and we make them laugh. And when they are playing, people cannot change the personality. The same personality they have in the office is exactly the same personality when they're playing the game.
absolutely.
And the negative people, they're not gonna be laughing whatever you do and everything. So in the back, when we debrief those games, we can identify what are the weaknesses in the organization, in the team, and how we can reposition this team in order to work more efficient. And I can tell you that it's a lot of potential, with the clowning and corporate training because it's very easy to do
Yeah, yeah,
exercises and game and debrief and see how companies operate.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, Eddie, thank you so much. You make my
Thank
day.
you, Harry.
Yeah, a fellow performer. Yeah, I'm so happy to have this chat with you. Yeah, very little sometimes we talk with performance, and people don't share what we just talk. I don't know if they don't they're,
It's
they're
sometimes it's
ashamed
difficult.
or it's
Difficult.
difficult to talk if you don't have someone that
Yeah.
actually have been on stage several times because they will never understand what you're trying to say. But there is different layers behind the performance that we are dealing with the audience and we want to deliver the best we can for this audience. And again, if one biggest lesson have to be taken out of this conversation that is 100% applied to entrepreneurship is don't let your ego run your product. Read the audience, read the market, and it's not what you want to do, is what they want to buy, and may be able to pivot and adapt yourself and be flexible like water and move in the direction that what the public want, what the market want, and you're gonna be a very successful entrepreneur or a very successful performer like Eddie. Yeah, thank you so much. And
My
for
pleasure.
all of you, for all of you following these episodes of Unstoppable, see you in our next episode. How brave entrepreneurs like Eddie break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.